Hi, I'm the Book Geek, and sorry for the change of background, but we accidentally forgot to film an intro to the book review to The Outsiders, so let's get to the review. Hi, so today I'm going to be doing a review on The Outsiders by Hinton. It's going to kind of be like a brief overview and then a rating along with like why it's one of my favorite books, and then afterward I'm going to go into a little more detail and give some spoilers so you can cut before if you don't want to see those. So The Outsiders is pretty much about rivalry between the greasers and the socials. You could call them sort of cliques, but they're really just divided by their economic statuses. So on one side you have the greasers, who are a little more like underprivileged. They grow up kind of like scavenging for stuff, a little more on the harder side. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the socials, and they are kind of seen as like snobby rich kids who have like everything handed to them, and no matter what they do, they can always get out of it with their money. This book comes from the perspective of Ponyboy, and he just kind of talks about his life leading up to where they are now, and he talks about how, I mean, just pretty much every different, like all the different things he sees. And I mean, this book is so special because it's an easy read, first of all, so it can apply to any sort of range of, I guess, reader, of age, of experiences, because a lot of what they go through in the book is, you know, it just universal. It just, anyone that can read it, I feel like, can kind of relate to some particular part of it. And because of that, I give it a rating of 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite books. I mean, these characters go through a range of experiences, right? Like, they go from the complete opposite ends of a spectrum of what anyone can go through in their lives. And that's why I highly recommend it, because it's so diverse in everything that they go through. And I just can't stress that enough, that it honestly, I feel, can apply to almost anyone. Now I'm going to go into a little more detail and give some spoilers. So if you want to cut it now, you can. Here are some spoilers, so I'll wait for those people to leave. So I mean, just from the start, giving their background, S.E. Hinton, I feel like gave such a good, just an overall writing experience, because there are those particular books where they give those details that are so kind of dragging, and you feel like you're just trying to like push yourself through every page, and you're just giving so many details, you're trying to take it all in. But then there are also those books that don't really give a lot of character development, and you don't, at the end of the book, really feel for what the characters have gone through, because you don't necessarily feel a connection to them. S.E. Hinton kind of just made it brief, but overall really meaningful, because she gives the background of Ponyboy, Dally, and Soda Pop, but you need that information to know more about the characters and to know how they got to where they are. And that's what kind of leads into more of their experiences. I mean, they're underprivileged because they don't have parents to take care of them. And now Derry is the one that has to be the parent figure. He's working all the time, and you know, there are kids nowadays who feel that same way. You know, they have to take on that role, with parents or not. They try to just live their everyday lives, but I mean, the greasers and the socials keep running into each other, and I mean, things go crazy every now and then it leads to Johnny's death, and that was honestly so sad. I mean, Johnny, he suffered so much in his own household, and then to have to just like, you know, he's so young, and then he just dies, and he never really felt that love experience from his parents. To die at such a young age, to die without really having felt cared for from the people that like gave birth to you, was so sad. And then what really tied it all up for me was a part about the book that wasn't really as significant until the end, which was when Bob died. And I mean, that comes before Johnny's death, because Johnny was actually the one that stabbed him. But Bob's death was small, but at the same time particularly significant to the entire book, because in the end, throughout the entire book, they kind of talk about how the socials have it handed to them. The rich kids who can get out of whatever they want, like I said, with the money that they have. The Gracers think that, like, the socials have it handed to them, and I mean, like I said earlier, they can do anything and use their money to get out of it. But when Bob dies and Ponyboy talks to Cherry about his death, Cherry tells Ponyboy about how no one really knew the side of Bob that she knew. He was really heartfelt, and he really wanted to be loved by his parents because he was neglected because they had the money just to throw at him, thinking that's what would make him happy. I mean, he was a kind of like rebellious kid, and I mean, the parents, all they would do is just hand over the money to fix the problem, but in reality what he wanted was attention. And in a way, he was similar yet different to Johnny. You know, they both grew up in different environments, but they both wanted the same thing because we're all human. And that's what really sums up the book, is that no matter what your socioeconomic status, we're all the same kind of people. We all just want to be loved. So I feel like the overall message of the book, which is what I love so much, is that we're all human and our socioeconomic statuses don't define us, and it's our experiences that really do. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this book review. I highly recommend this book, so please go pick it up.
Please like and subscribe, and please watch my upcoming makeup tutorial.
And all of our links are down below.